Well, just thought I'd make a new video. Well, you know, you like the bushes in the background? Well, great. That's a divider between me and the neighbors. Guess what? I have my own wall. A lot of us do. And I just thought I'd make this a little bit about the wall issue. You know, I'm glad we have fences in my neighborhood. It keeps other dogs out, keeps people from messing around in my yard. And guess what? It's necessary. It's required. You know what? I think the real issue here is that we needed a wall a long time ago. I think we needed control of our borders in a lot of places. And the fact is, I don't see a whole lot of reason why we shouldn't. You know, when we think about it, our national security today is in jeopardy in a lot of ways. But I think a wall that people can't climb over or get through along our southern border isn't such a bad idea. And I don't care what anybody says, I think we really, really need to think about it and quit fighting over it. You know, we spend millions and millions of dollars confiscating junk and stuff that people try to smuggle into our country. We spend millions of dollars smashing cars that can't go back, that can't come in, and that are useless after they've been torn all apart. We spend a lot of money on a lot of things that have absolutely nothing to do with the real problem that we have. You know, and if people want to come here and work, let them come here and work legitimately. You know, we need to follow the rules where they can get in because they applied, because they want to. I have a lot of friends in the horse industry that work here, and they work here legitimately. And they're the only people that will do that kind of work because they're the only ones that like horses. They'll get up at 3 in the morning and walk them and train them and feed them and keep their stalls and do all the things they got to do. But guess what? They also have to provide for their family. Now, it's not the ones that are here legally that are a big issue to me. It's the ones that send their money home and they aren't American citizens. And what kind of money are they sending home? They're sending home money they work for. I'm sure it's theirs when they earn it. But the problem is, we have a big giant drain on America's income. It's proven by numbers and statistics that in 2016, for 11 months of the year, it was over $10 billion. But the statistics are even worse in 2017. It's $21 billion in 11 months of the 2017 figure. Now you add that up and round it out, it's about $25 million. And that's money that went away, that was untaxed, and had no benefit to us once it's gone. So I really think that we ought to think about it. I think we ought to also quit worrying about Mexico paying for the wall, because you know what? Just the announcement that they were actually paid for the wall. In one regard, it woke them up to the fact that we know that they're, you know, coming over on our borders and doing their thing, and we just don't need that. It woke them up to the fact that we know how much money they send home. Okay, I think just by plugging the leak in a few places along the southern border was something that, every president since Johnson has said something. And many days past, many years past, it's been a real issue. So I got to tell you something, folks. I think that no matter how we come up with the money to build the wall, it'll pay for itself in the fact that we will have more protection. We won't have to spend quite so much money on all the services we grant to people that sneak across our border in the catch and release programs. And America will be safer. It's not just Mexico that's a problem, and we all know that now. Boy, if you weren't educated on the southern border processes and a few of the things that happened before 2016, you sure are now. And there's no doubt that we stalled another year, another 18 months, and guess what? There goes another $30 billion gone. So I think we should figure out a way to pay for the wall, get it built, and take the stats over, check it out, see just exactly what happens. I think we should build that wall and build it fast. I think the prototypes that are there are great. As a project manager, I personally wouldn't even mind looking them over. All the plans and all the specs and the engineering. Just check it out. See how efficient and effective the wall is. And make it happen. It'll save us millions of dollars as a deterrent, as a preventive measure. We need that kind of preventive measure to make our borders safe. We need that kind of border protection. And we need to end the catch and release program. As far as the DACA program goes, I think that is a non-issue. And I think anybody who's making an issue of it is making a smokescreen out of it. I think it is a smokescreen. I think the real truth is we need to get behind our border protection program, our border patrol officers, and our national security program, and assure that we are safer because we did protect ourselves. It's been decades, actually centuries, since America became a country with a southern border. And it spans all the way from Texas to California. And I don't see why we shouldn't protect it. All of our other ports are subject to issues and problems, including airports, our many seaports, everything. So our whole entire program is huge. It's way beyond just a southern border wall. And it's way beyond the DACA program. The DACA program is something that's an old issue. It's worn out. It matters, but it's not the wall. The wall has a distinct and different purpose. And I think when people focus in on that, they'll understand that the wall is a necessary item. It has nothing to do with the people that are already here. I have many friends that have family members that are here. And I think you could get on the DACA thing and you could argue it all day long till you're blue in the face. And I think that's what they've done, is they've made that into an issue that is of no matter. It's a smokescreen, just like a lot of other things are smokescreens. So, ladies and gentlemen, consider the national security and preventive aspects. Don't worry about who can climb over it, and don't worry about who can dig under it. Instead, think about its preventive measure. Think about what a security it would provide. Now, I think we could have citizens camp all along the border. I think we could have condominiums built in the wall. I think there's all kinds of creative solutions to make sure that that space is not wasted. I think that we could do all kinds of creative things, and I think we need to. And if the center of a river is a problem, then I think we could deal with that too. But in the meantime, there's 1,954 miles of border that are totally unprotected, and that people from countries that are not Mexico are definitely targeting to attempt to get into our country unsolicited, and in some cases with dastardly results. We know what they are. The government knows what they are. The people that live along the border know what they are. Sure, there's some legitimate cases where the wall should have ingress and egress points so people can come and work and do their job and go home at night. Just commuters. Commuters with a reason to do what they're doing, that are allowed. They're not immigrants, and they're not migrants, or not illegals. They're migrants, and migrants are a whole different aspect. The left tends to want to, and anybody who's against the wall, tends to want to make the migrant issue an issue, and it's not. We have migrant workers that do a good job and do great things in our farmlands all along the southern border, especially in California. Middle and southern California used to be a massive amount of farmlands. You can tell by looking at recent history in Fresno that there used to be a lot more farmland there. And in the Dixon area around the Sac Valley, there used to be a lot more farms. And the people that still come and go in those areas, they get permits and they come and work. Anybody who's permitting an illegal to come and work, they're making a mistake. And we know it. California itself and its politics these days has really got us all wondering just what's going on. Now, I've been involved in this for many, many years in many different ways. My family has been watching it for decades, and it's not just a southern border issue to them. It's now, since the advent of all the different means of travel and all the different ways and different things that people do, you got air flight, like the one flying overhead. You got airports, seaports, you got everything, and people can come in any way, electronically, social media, computers, just about every means. We're vulnerable. But the one thing we don't have to be vulnerable in is our southern border. Why is it more important than our northern border? It's because the people in the South, in South America, and other countries outside of South America use our southern border as if it's an open invitation to come here without getting proper access. Let's think about it. Let's get her done. Build that wall.